Do 423-381-3427. All right, Mix 1041, MixTV.tv. All right, Mix 1041, MixTV.tv. We are joined by our friends from Allon Planning Partners. We have Jay and Brittany Hagee in the studio with us. So great to see both of you.
Hello, Bridget. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
So we are going to talk about value-based investing. And what does that mean?
Yeah, we have a good number of clients that come to us and kind of question obviously how to invest, right? How do I actually do this? And we've had a good number of folks, especially lately, talk through how maybe they have specific holdings or investments that are growing and they're growing really well, but they may not align with their values or what their actual moral compass is, or hey, I don't know that I really want to support this company or what this is doing, but it's making me really great money.
Yeah.
How do I actually align my values with my investment style and portfolio?
Yeah.
What does that actually look like?
And one couple in particular, just the last couple weeks that I had in, they had done really well. Their performance was great, and they had saved really well. They were doing great. They were working with another firm, and some of them he was actually managing himself. But when we boiled it down, they weren't happy because they found out some of the companies didn't align to the values that they had in their personal mission, their faith, right? And so we at Allon Planning Partners look at it as you don't have to sacrifice performance over principle, because we can look and we have a filter that we filter how we invest through a values-based lens. And so when we were talking through it, it really brought a lot of hope to them and clarity, like, oh, we don't have to sacrifice the performance we're getting in our portfolio in order to actually align with companies we agree with. No. Actually, a lot of times, because there are some companies that don't act ethically all the time, it brings a lot of volatility to a portfolio. And so over time, there are many studies that show if you align your values with how you are investing, you can actually do better over time than worse. So we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, and think about that. I mean, that's really logical, and that's not something I think is talked about enough. But when there are companies that are operating with not ethical values, or that it's not above board, right? That how he said that actually adds to the volatility of a portfolio. Think about it, because maybe they have, lawsuits filed against them. Maybe they have some legal accountability that because there have been laws broken or SEC regulations haven't been followed or whatever, things like that. That's actually going to bring volatility because it is impacting their business. It's not going to be sustained long term. So when you look at it that way, you realize, okay, it actually does bring some volatility. And if we're trying to minimize the volatility while increasing our profits, that's not where we want to.
We're always trying to build a secure financial house for folks, right? That's one of the values we have at Allon, that we're putting together plans that bring people peace of mind, but it's actually secure. It's not something built on the sand. And so we use that analogy of, what if you're building a house with the best materials and it looks beautiful, but your foundation is not there, right? You built your house on sand because the companies maybe you're investing in aren't the most solid, or the planning you've done hasn't included all of the components of financial planning. Well, eventually that house is going to crack and break down and show wear. And that's what we've seen a lot recently. And the reason we wanted to bring it out to the radio today is because, and my TVs, we wanted people to see you don't have to sacrifice performance in order to stand on a stronger foundation and have principle in your values-based investing. And that's what we help with. We help with all aspects of financial planning, but this one has been on a highlight recently. And if you don't know how your investments align with your morals or your faith, you need to check into that, because you may be building a portfolio on the sand instead of on a rock and some more secure foundation.
Yeah, and really the concept here, it's all around, we say it till we're blue in the face, it's purpose-based planning. We talk about purpose-based planning all the time. So it's purpose in the actual types of things you're investing in, right? Being intentional in choosing how you're invested. So purpose even in that, and then being purposeful and intentional in the why. Why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? Or what am I working towards with my finances, with my portfolio, as I plan for my financial future in retirement? So basically, all things intentional, all things with purpose, even down to how we're positioned and how we're earning money, how we're growing what we have. Are those purposes, are those strategies aligned with each individual's personal set of beliefs and values, right? So they can align. A lot of folks think they have to sacrifice one for the other, like Jay mentioned, but they can align.
That's right.
And that's really what we specialize in. We help folks navigate that. How do I do this? How do I continue to grow what I have and build? But also, man, I don't want to sacrifice this principle or this belief. I don't want to invest in whatever it may be, tobacco, or maybe it's a abortion type, funding, things like that. Very, very principled concerns that folks have, and wanting to make sure that the investment style aligns with that. So
purpose
that's what we do.
Important, and knowing where your money is and why.
Right.
Is so important to know. So what is the best way for people to reach out to you and get more information?
Yeah, a couple ways. You can go to allonplanning.com. That's ALLON planning.com. You can schedule a complimentary consultation right from our website. You can also look into a lot of resources that we have, whether it's our book that you can get a copy of, or TV shows or radio shows or podcasts that we have available in there. That's one great way to reach out to us. Another one's directly just to call us, 423-315-1441. That's 423-315-1441. We would love to chat with you and your family and make sure that you have values behind how you're investing.
Purpose-based planning. That's right.
As our friends Jay and Brittany Hagee, Allon Planning Partners. So great to see both of you.
Great to see you. Thank you, Bridget.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. All rights reserved.